straggler. I have more than I need, so I'll just feast on you here.
Over here, partner. All I found were these Reachmen stalking the pass. Decided they'd rather die than talk, so I obliged. They don't look like they're from Ice Reach, but they are wearing the Coven's medallions. Anyway, did you find the lodge? Kilcreath? The temple to Meridia? Why would the Ice Reach Coven target a local Daedra cult? Damn, we're running out of time. I'll head back to Solitude and try again to warn High King Svargrim. You go to Kilcreath Temple and alert Meridia's priests. I'll meet you there as soon as I can. You'll be going up against the Coven by yourself. Warn the priests. If there's an opportunity to safely stop or delay the ritual, by all means, but don't take any unnecessary chances. I still don't want to lose another partner. Good luck.
It's a wonderful day for a drink, isn't it, friend? The more the merrier. What say you join us in tossing back a mug like a true Nord? Ha! I knew I liked the look of you. Here, take a mug. Drink up, friend, and let the mead wash all your cares away. That mead knocks you on your arse.
That mead knocks you on your arse, doesn't it? Ha ha! It's the best!
A disaster has befallen Kilcreath Temple. Don't be alarmed. I mean you no harm. But there are Harrow fiends swarming around Kilcreath Temple who do. Head back to safety before they find you. I'm sorry, but you're too late. An unnatural storm struck the temple, and now the entire area is overrun by vampires and hero fiends. Hero fiends are feral vampires, a byproduct of the unnatural hero storm. As for me, I am Fenorian of House Ravenwatch. I came here on the trail of remains stolen from a mass grave in Bankurai. They were shipped to Solitude in ancient urns. Yes, I've run into the Coven as well. The urns and the stolen remains play a part in a ritual to summon the storms. If you're willing, I could use your assistance. I need to finish my investigation of the site to see what else I can learn. I could use your help to examine the strange pikes erected around the temple. Hero fiends and vampires roam the area, making it difficult to get close. Hence the need for your assistance. You see, I'm not that confident in my combat prowess. The Ice Reach Coven performed a ritual that unleashed a hero storm on the temple. It struck without warning and evaporated as quickly as it began. But in its wake, it left behind hero fiends. Innocent priests and pilgrims transformed into monsters. That's what I heard the Ice Reach Coven call the storm that struck Kilcreath Temple. It's magical in nature, the result of some sort of ritual performed by the witches. I'm still investigating, but I think hero fiends are a byproduct of the storm. Is it that obvious? But have no fear. As a member of House Ravenwatch, I have pledged to never take blood from an unwilling subject. I assure you, I'm only here to help. I am much more than just a vampire. In addition to being an agent of House Ravenwatch, I am a master alchemist and an expert in arcane studies. I do try to avoid direct violence, though, to make sure I never give in to temptation. House Ravenwatch is one of the noble houses of Rivenspire. Our liege, Count Verandus, has dedicated us to the cause of peaceful coexistence between mortals and those of the vampiric persuasion. That often makes us defenders of Tamriel. True, but I've seen evidence of a vampiric connection. At the very least, the material they transported from Bankurai included the remains of ancient vampires. They were part of an army that was defeated in the First Era, the Grey Host. An army that consisted of vampires and werewolves, led by King Styric of Rakarth. They were eventually defeated by the garrison at Bankurai in High Rock. It all happened a very long time ago, but such remains radiate with arcane power. Look! A priest of Meridia! Maybe they can tell us more about what happened at the temple.
Please, can anybody help us? Oh, thank Meridia! The priests and pilgrims of Kilcreath Temple. We need assistance. A great and terrible storm struck, and so many of us were lost. A temple dedicated to Meridia, the Lady of Light. Pilgrims come from across Skyrim to pray and seek blessings, especially at this time of the year. Please, talk to Priest Bavian. You'll find her in the nearby cave, tending to the injured. She's the ranking priest, after High Priest Varkor. But we haven't seen the High Priest since the storm hit. Bavian led a group of us to safety. There are more priests and pilgrims out there. If you're willing to help, please talk to Bavian.
The living take precedence. We should search for survivors while investigating the pikes.
I wanted to help the others, but Meridia's words came to me as the storm struck. Every life bears responsibility for itself. Well, I made sure I was responsible for my own life, just as the priests teach us.
Priest Bavian was so brave. She led us to this cave and safety. But those noises outside, what did the storm bring with it, I wonder?
When the storm struck, we ran for our lives. It was unnatural, evil. Still, I'm alive, praise Meridia.
That storm! It was terrifying. Oh, the others are still out there. I hope they're all right.
Another pilgrim seeking shelter from a storm? No, you don't appear to be a pilgrim. What brings you here? Even in our darkest hour, Meridia provides a light. We were on our way to see High Priest Varkor when the storm hit. I've never seen such power. It raged like a thing alive. I gathered who I could, but the others are still out there. Start at the stables to the northwest. I saw Acolyte Yold, Priest Irena, and Roligmorth the Pilgrim seek shelter there. If you find them, send them back here. After that, meet me at the Pilgrim's Lodge to the west of the temple. Look for Yolt, Direna, and Roligmorth at the stables. Then meet me at the Pilgrim's Lodge. I will head there after I finish caring for these injured souls. Meridia's light. Kilcreed Temple provides a safe haven for the priests and pilgrims of Meridia. At least it did, before this terrible storm struck. The Lady of Light has always protected us. Why today should be different, I don't understand. No, that honor goes to our High Priest Varkor. I am but her humble assistant. She is my mentor and my friend. After you find the others, I'll meet you at the Pilgrim's Lodge, and we can search for the High Priest together. We were on our way to the temple for prayers when an oily black ichor roiled in the sky. The wind picked up and red streaks of lightning struck all around us. We barely made it to the safety of this cave. The storm abated. Then the sound started. Groans, shrieks, blood-curdling screams. It sounded like wild and feral beasts followed in the wake of the storm. I sent Priest Isofnir outside to keep watch, but I told him not to take any unnecessary risks. We're priests, not soldiers, after all.
I could use your help to examine the strange pikes erected around. An alchemical residue. That should prove useful.
Why has Meridia forsaken me?
Keep calm. I mean you no harm.
High Priest Vakor will find me. Meridia will save me. When things are darkest, her light shines the way. Please don't eat me. Priest Balvian? Where's High Priest Vakor? Did those horrible creatures get her? We hid in the stables, but then Priest Arena changed. That's when I ran in here.
What happened to this poor woman? She looks distraught.
Sometimes I like to lick the blood off my blade.
Depleted. Just ordinary sticks and rope now. Interesting.
Acolyte Ivina! Please, wake up!
No visible damage despite its proximity to the eye of the storm.
Acolyte Ivina can't hear me. She's standing right here, but she's gone. Is this what would have happened to all of us if I hadn't gotten the others into the cave? I tried to heal Ivina, but Meridia's light had no effect. But what was that about Priest Arena and the stables? Is like poor Ivina. We must find High Priest Vakor. If anyone is powerful enough to cure this unnatural ailment, it will be her. Meridia willing, we'll find the High Priest and everyone else safe in the temple. We need to find High Priest Varkor. Let's head to the temple.
Can you feel the lingering energy? That's Daedric, if I'm not mistaken.
Daedric?
These depleted witch pikes expended a lot of power to summon the Harrow Storm. Now they're just ordinary sticks, but even in this state, they tell us much about the ritual that flowed through them. I'm sure now that the pikes play a significant role as focal points for the storm ritual. The prepared pikes are depleted as the ritual runs its course, but I sensed lingering energy, including a Daedric taint. And we found an intriguing residue. It's the remains of an alchemical poultice that was spread over the pikes. Smells like rotting fungus, doesn't it? With a little study, I should be able to identify each ingredient in its makeup. Then I can begin to understand the ritual. One other thing I want to check first. I noticed the pilgrims leading a cart away from the temple right before the storm hit. Coven members could have tried to slip away among the innocents. The cart should be along the road south of the temple. Strange. They're alive, but unresponsive. Check the crates and see if they contain the smuggled items.
You seem to know a lot about a great many things, vampire.
Did you find anything of interest in the crate? I can't believe anyone knowingly involved would have let themselves be exposed to the storm. Perhaps the pilgrims were tricked into transporting the crate. Or maybe it was slipped into their cart. Yes, of course. Though I fear what we may find there. The temple was clearly at the center of the storm. Regardless, there's still a lot we don't know about the effects of this ritual. Observing the target area could offer new insights.
An entire pack of wolves died from something with claws last week. Strange times. Best stock up on goods now, yeah?
By Meridia's light, so many dead. How could Meridia let this happen to her faithful?
These are temple priests and pilgrims. It seems the storm killed them. I'll need to perform more tests. But from what we've seen, I believe the storm affects mortals in 3 distinct ways. It kills them, transforms them into harrow fiends, or leaves them mindless. I suppose I'd say it harrowed those poor pilgrims. Head to the temple and help Barvian. See what else you can learn inside. I'd accompany you, but Meridia doesn't approve of my kind, and I'd rather not get on her bad side. In the meantime, I'll finish up out here. I'll take samples from the harrow fiends, and try to determine how the storm killed these people. Later, we can retrieve my alchemical equipment from where I hid it so I can analyze the residue. I didn't want to carry fragile instruments into danger.
Monsters in this holy place. We need to find the temple priests. Take his Meridian medallion so we can remember his sacrifice.
Priest Babian! Our own brethren have turned against us! They've become monsters!
Calm yourself, Acolyte.
I'm safe in here, but the rest of the temple... it's overrun with monsters! Worse, they're our own priests and pilgrims. I saw one pilgrim attack poor Larelvor, ripped at his flesh with her teeth. The storm? I hadn't thought of that. Terrible things started happening after it began, though. This may be heresy to say, but Meridia has abandoned us. She doesn't care what happens to this place. I'm going to stay here until the danger's past. Who's there? Is that you, High Priest?
Our own brethren, like vicious animals. We must find the others. Freya! Molazu!
Molazu gave me no choice, Bavian. I swear it. Just this morning, we were debating the mysteries of the colored rooms. Now he's gone. He attacked me. He tried to devour me. I had no choice but to kill him. To kill a cherished student. Signs? Do you want to know if he announced his intentions before he turned into a ravenous beast? No. Nothing. One moment he was fine. The next, he was a monster. The High Priest took the survivors and fled to the catacombs. You need to help them.
Priest Armand? Wait. Follow me. He fled into the vestry. Armin, please, you don't want to do this. They're mad, beyond all reason. Even in this temple, Meridia's light does nothing to help those afflicted with this feral curse. We need to reach the catacombs and find High Priest Varkor. The catacombs can be accessed from deeper within the temple. We just need to get the key from the Chamberlain's sanctum. I think I know why the High Priest went to the catacombs. It's not only a defensible location, it's where our relic is kept. Meridia's brilliance. It has the power to channel her light and purge the temple of this corruption. At least, I hope it does. High Priest Varkor wouldn't just hide in the catacombs. She must have a plan to save us. Go ahead. Did you find the key that opens the catacombs? Did you retrieve the key from the Chamberlain's sanctum? We need it to open the door to the catacombs. Perfect! There are only 2 keys that I know of, and the High Priest has the other one. Now open the door, and let's find High Priest Varkor. Even the catacombs are corrupted. The High Priest! By the light! Quickly, retrieve the relic. Retrieve the relic, and we can escape through the old air shaft. This way, my friend. Let's meet back in the cave.
If you're done assisting Bavian, we should gather my equipment and begin studying that alchemical residue. Otherwise, I'll keep...
That's close enough, Leech.
Wait! I'm not part of the coven!
Looks like I made it back just in time. This place is crawling with vampires, and that one was about to make a meal out of you. House Ravenwatch. I've heard of them, but he's a long way from Rivenspire. Well, if you're willing to trust a vampire, I suppose I can too. I spotted a coven witch. If we hurry, we might be able to catch her. On the cliff overlooking the temple. Calls herself Sister Embrit. I was going to rush her, but I wanted to make sure you hadn't run afoul of any of these monsters first. No offense, Fen. Come on. If we're lucky, the witch is still up there.
Perhaps I could question the witch before you introduce her to your impressive axe blade?
refinement.
Kill her before she can summon another storm.
Willing sacrifices. How nice.
Sacrifice! I'd rather give you my axe, witch.
I hoped you could take her prisoner. No matter. I found something. This way?
Go with your vampire friend. I'm gonna look around here.
Do you see? These are the same as the urns smuggled from Bankarai. They didn't just shatter, they exploded. I can sense traces of magicka clinging to the shards that matched the energy used in the storm ritual. These other fragments, though. All this rubble scattered around didn't just come from these urns. The texture and patterns are different. They appear to have used the funerary dust in the urns to summon the Harrow Storms. But I'm not sure what was inside the larger vessels. Look at the shape of the fragments. They come from a hollow receptacle of some sort. Something at least as tall as you. Perhaps larger. Just another piece of the puzzle. Maybe when I analyze the witchpike residue, an answer will suggest itself. Thank you, but no. I try to avoid large population centers. The temptation. You understand. I'll find someplace nearby, but out of the way where I can set up my equipment and work undisturbed. I'll send word when I have something to report. I met a clever woman who lives in the bog near Morthal. Old Mjolnir's a dying breed among the Nords, a practitioner of the old magic. The locals both admire and fear her. If anyone can help me untangle the Coven's ritual, it's her. Mjolnir's experience with the old ways and reach magic make her ideally suited to assist me in this endeavor. She's the closest thing to an expert we're likely to find out here. At least one who doesn't want to feed our eyes to a harpy. The Raven Watch has had to curtail rogue vampire clans and put down feral blood fiends on occasion, but I've never dealt with anything like this before. People turning into harrow fiends or becoming mindless harrowed. It's a nightmare. Yes, but more research is required to confirm anything. Still, from what we observed here, it appears the Harrow Storm produced 3 distinct results in those caught within it. It turned them into harrow fiends, or harrowed, or it simply killed them. Mjolnir's experience with the old ways.
So, what did your vampire friend discover? Reach witches summoning magical storms to create feral vampires? That's horrible, but to what purpose? Well, that's the next puzzle to solve. First, we need to get this information to the Queen. Here. This was for Brondel, but it's yours now. Queen Gerhild needs to hear what we discovered at Kilcreath Temple. Hopefully that will be enough for her to get us an audience with High King Svargrim. The Queen seemed reasonable. She'll believe us. As for Svargrim, who can tell? I haven't met the man, but everything I've heard describes him as prideful, arrogant, and hard-headed. Even with the Queen's help, there's no guarantee. I'd like to knock down the palace door, grab him by the throat, and shake him until he listens. That would probably start a war, though, and Yoren specifically asked me to avoid that. For now, let's bring our evidence to Queen Gerhild. If there's anything else we need to discuss, let's get it out of the way now, before we return to Solitude. Hey, you and Fenorian came to that conclusion, not me. Still, it makes as much sense as anything. As to why, I have no idea. This connection to vampires, though, that's troubling. We should keep Fen away until we get into Svargrim's good graces. A clever woman? Out here? Nords are extremely distrustful of magic. especially Nords from western Skyrim. I'm surprised the people of Morthal tolerate her presence. If anyone can help Fen figure out the Coven's ritual, though, it would be her. Our priority remains getting an audience with High King Svargrim. We need to convince him that the Ice Reach Coven is a threat to his kingdom, and get him to help us stop them. Let's return to Solitude and present our findings to the Queen. Clever men and women are Nords with an aptitude for magic, though most use the term to refer to practitioners of the old ways. They're rare. Not the usual adepts found at the Mages Guild. Distrust of magic runs deep in Skyrim, especially out here. Could be that the elves our ancestors fought soured our taste for magic. Or maybe there weren't enough skalds singing about wizards going to Sovngarde. Might be that Nords just prefer their natural talents. Either way, magic isn't popular here.
How fragile my faith, when I can depend more on help from a stranger than from my God. And such terrible things we witnessed today. An unnatural storm, vampires, innocent people turning into monsters. I fear this corruption cannot simply be prayed away. It seems that Meridia has abandoned us to our fate. Why? I cannot say. Ah, thank you. These belonged to Roligmolf and Acolyte Lorelfor. I wish we could have saved them, but at least we can use these to remember them. I doubt we can recover their remains before the temple is sealed. With Meridia's brilliance, I'm not sure my faith is strong enough to use it after all this, but I suppose I have to try. I owe that much to High Priest Varkor's memory. Do you have the relic? I'll work with our remaining priests. Try to use the relic to purge the corruption and seal the temple. If that doesn't work, well, let's hope that it does. Thank you, my friend. You stood with us while Meridia turned away. We won't forget that. The injured still need to be treated, and the temple's corruption needs to be dealt with. Despite the way I feel about Meridia now, I still have a responsibility. I won't walk away from it. Not like Meridia walked away from us. I lost a lot of things today. We all did. But that doesn't mean I won't keep trying to help the faithful. There are injured to tend to, and those poor souls who lost their mind to the storm. I want to find a way to help them all. High Priest Varkor claimed it contained Meridia's divine light. There are rituals for releasing such power. Whether I or one of the other priests can make use of it, we'll see. I just hope we don't experience any more of those storms. Another day, another infernal harrow storm.
Who?
If you have a book, couldn't have just been plain old wolves. Oh no.
The Male Moth Historian. You are here to return Male Moth's journal, I assume? It does my heart good to know that not everyone in Solitude is as careless and irresponsible as that Narcissus Dren. So the mudmouth opportunist finally gets his just desserts. Ha! The Mages Guild would happily take that off your hands. I will reverse the spell. Eventually. Why rush a teachable moment, eh? Take this. You have more than earned it, I think. There we are. Oh, Narcissus. You really tie the room together. Ha!
That's one of the Queen's attendants. Let's get inside.
Be strong, Svanna.
Mother! No! No!
Svanna, your father, the kingdom. Watch over.
Mother! No! You can't die! Mother?
Sire, the assassins might return. You must get to somewhere safe.
Have Yoren's lackeys come to gloat?
We came here to warn you, Your Highness.
And yet my wife lies dead.
If you had listened to us...
Like she did. If I determined Yoren had a hand in this, There will be war! Someone take care of my wife!
Father, please.
Gods, what a disaster. The Queen's been assassinated and Svargrim still refuses to listen to reason. We need to find a way to set things right. Good question. The guards should have been able to handle a run-of-the-mill assassin. This could be connected to the Ice Reach Coven. In fact, I'd wager my axe that it is. Look around. See if you can find any indication of how the assassin got in and out of the palace so easily. Maybe even turn up something that ties the murderer to the Coven. I'll make sure the princess is all right. Svanna's taking this pretty hard. I suppose most daughters feel close to their mothers. Not that I'd know, I never knew my mother. Sorry, don't mind me. Did you find anything that might lead us to the assassin? We've seen these medallions before. On the Reachman near Kilcreath. And I saw them on the witches in Ice Reach. The assassin definitely seems to be in league with the Coven. But can we get Svargrim to believe that and accept the danger he's in? Svargrim has every right to be angry. He watched his wife die right before his eyes. But he's the High King. He doesn't have the right to be stupid. Time to make Svargrim confront some hard truths. Come on, the Sword Thane led the king upstairs. We need to see the High King.
I should think not. The High King is in mourning. He's not to be disturbed.
The Queen's wasn't the only life lost today. Now get out of our way.
Go right in.
Your Highness, please. Your kingdom is in grave danger.
My queen's blood hasn't yet cooled, and already Yoren's lackeys hound me.
We have proof that the Coven threatening your kingdom is responsible for the Queen's death. Show him, partner.
Does Yoren think me so weak that he believes his half-giant can twist my arm and fill my head with lies? I am not so easily duped, outsider. Reach witches. They pose no threat. We've beaten back those wild dogs time and time again, while our brothers to the east bow down to a poetry-writing milk drinker. I will not be lectured on such matters by the likes of you. Tales told around campfires to scare the children. Storms happen here all the time, and none of them spawn monsters. The last spy who spoke of such things, well, he no longer speaks of such things. I am the Wolf of Solitude. I know my enemies. You dishonor my wife's name by letting it pass through your treacherous lips. Away with you! And pray I don't find evidence that ties you to the Queen's murder. That would not go so well for you.
We'll leave you to your grief, Your Highness.
Is it true? Mother told me you were working for her before she...
I'm sorry, Svanna. I would have saved her if I could.
My mother. She told me she gave the mighty Lyris Titanborn an important task. Tell me, what were you doing for my mother? Threat? What threat? And do you think this is why someone came into the palace and killed her? And did you tell my father all this? Is he rallying the soldiers? Alerting the other holds? My father sees Yoren's plots everywhere, even in his spicy venison stew. Well, I won't let my mother's death be for nothing. She trusted you, and so will I. My father be damned. Please, find whoever did this and stop them. I saw the assassin. He moved fast. Unbelievably fast. He leaped through the window after stabbing my mother. By that time, the guards had gathered, so I guess he decided to flee. Try to follow his trail. Someone outside must have seen something. He was fast, that's for certain. Here and gone before the guards could even draw their swords. Other than that, I didn't get a good look. The inside of his hood was nothing but shadows. My father? Listen to me? When horkers fly, maybe. But probably not even then. He gave up on me a long time ago. I'm sorry. I'm no use to you. No use to anyone. I'm not my mother. Never will be. But I swear I'll do whatever I can to help you. You have my word on that. He was fast, that's for certain. No. My mother... The last time we spoke, I hurled a mug at her. But I came when she summoned me. Just in time to see her murdered. I need to pull myself together. She asked me to watch over my father. The kingdom. I can't let her down. My father? Listen to me? When...
Come on, Princess. Let's get you somewhere safe.
Don't call me princess. Just Svanna. There's nothing noble about me.
My wife, she is like ice, so cold, so pale. All the warmth sucked out of her. There was a commotion at the palace. Everyone was headed that way, except one man. No, not a man. He wore an eye patch, but his face was bestial. He dragged her along like a bone between a dog's teeth. Then he tossed her aside. Pale as snow. He was fast, so fast, ran toward the Hall of the Dead. He never even looked back at what he had done.
Drat! I'm stumped. Until Tenzin gets me a proper research assistant, I have next to nothing to go on. Might as well thank the divine. There are I do common every...
Will you pray with me for these poor souls, cut down and bound for the Hall of the Dead much too soon? It was a monster, a vampire. I have seen such creatures before, but this one wore an eye patch. It moved like a shadow and took sustenance from these poor souls. I called upon Arkay's grace, and the vampire fled before his sacred presence. Toward the main gate, I pray the guard finished off the depraved creature before it took another innocent life.
You again? Didn't I warn you about putting your nose where it doesn't belong? A vampire? I don't know what you're talking about. But whoever it was tore out Senolia's throat and fled through the gate before I could stop him. What do you know about all this? And why is it any of your business? The Queen's dead? What about the High King? He'll have my head for letting the assassin slip away. You think... Would the High King really... But I'm a loyal subject! No more talk. I need to get Senolia off the street.
This is Svargrim's fault. He should have heeded us from the start. Damn Svargrim and his distrust of Yoren. How many more of his people have to die before he accepts the truth and lets us help him? Forget that for now. Tell me about the assassin. Did anyone get a good look at the murderer? That would explain the assassin's swiftness and ability to escape so easily. We knew the Ice Reach Coven had vampires on their side, but using them so blatantly. Anything else to report? Well then, time to fight fire with fire. They've got evil vampires, and we've got a friendly one. Let's find out exactly what your friend Fen knows about vampire clans in the area. Where did you tell me Fen was going again? Right, to research the ritual. Go find them and see what you can learn. I'll stay with Svanna. Bring her up to speed on everything we've uncovered. We're going to need her to get the High King to trust us. And I'm calling him Fen. It's simpler.
I had thought after our dealings with bone wolves and curses, you would find other ways to amuse yourself for a time. Yet here you are again, right in the midst of more problems. What can old Mjolnir do for you this time?
Welcome to the middle of nowhere, my friend. You must be freezing. Warm yourself by the fire, and tell me how your audience with the High King went. A bold move, even for them. Old Mjolnir and I have been comparing notes, and we've made some progress studying the Harrowstorm ritual. What happened to your large friend with the axe, by the way? We knew that vampires were working with the Coven. And old Mjolnir and I can say with certainty that the feral Harrow Fiends are byproducts of Harrow Storms. You think the assassin was one of the vampires in league with the Coven? An eye patch? That's uncommon. And this insignia, I've seen it before. It's the same as the symbol that decorates the urns smuggled out of Bankarai. If it belongs to a vampire bloodline, I'm not familiar with it. I suggest you ask Mjolnir.
I had thought after our dealings with bone wolves and curses, you would find other ways. A grim talisman. It bears an enchantment of some kind, though the symbol upon it holds no significance that I'm aware of. I can help find the owner of this medallion, but I need some specific items to cast such a divination. Bring me the bones of a wolf and a death bell plant pulled up by its roots. I need the plant alive. The wolf, not so much. With those reagents, I can conjure a divination that will lead you directly to the last person to wear this medallion. Death bell grows throughout the bog. You should have no trouble acquiring it. Wolves are plentiful in the wilderness around Morthal as well, but be cautious. Many seem afflicted by a strange curse. I would hate for you to run afoul of it. An icy rime clings to the wolves, sapping the heat and life from their bodies until only a frigid, shambling corpse remains. You are safe from them here, but be mindful out in the wild. Welcome back. Warm yourself by the fire, and tell me about the reagents I requested. Good, good. Divinations can be fickle. The longer we delay, the colder the trail grows. Let's see if we can catch the scent of your prey. Mother Wolf, hear me. We seek your blessing in our hunt. Lead us to our elusive quarry. Mother Wolf smiles upon you. She has seen fit to join your pack and aid you in your hunt. Mother Wolf has the scent and will lead you to your quarry. I have enchanted the medallion with a divination spell inextricably linked to its owner. Hold it to your nose and breathe deeply. It will guide you along his trail. Mother Wolf will guide you along the way, but you must still complete the hunt and find him. If the assassin eludes you, Use the medallion to recover his trail. The wolf is relentless in her pursuit. The question is, will you be like the wolf?
And look! The magic points to the west. What an interesting use of primitive magic. That was clearly your vampire assassin. He even wore an eye patch. It looked like he was at a small camp. And you saw that ball of magic, huh? It went to the west. That must be where you'll find the camp. Didn't I tell you? The clever woman's magic can be quite exciting. Not my usual process of investigation, but effective just the same. I'll leave old Mjolnir to continue our research and follow after you. I want to see how the divination plays out. The assassin drained her of blood. Judging by the state of her body, she hasn't been dead very long. Use the medallion again. The assassin might be nearby. He must have been desperate to feed while trying to escape. Is it wrong to find these visions so intriguing? This one showed your assassin again, eye patch and all, by a cave near a waterfall. And the ball of magicka drifted toward the west again. I suggest we go that way as quickly as possible. There's nothing we can do for her. The vampire assassin drained all the blood from her body. He took his time with her, I think. Probably needed to recover his strength after the events at the palace. Let's get after him before the trail grows cold.